channel is sponsored by Great Bay Outfitters. Great Bay Outfitters is a waterfront kayak shop located near Great Bay. They are New Jersey's #1 volume dealer of Old Town kayaks. Great Bay Outfitters specializes in fishing kayaks and offers demos, rentals, repair, rigging, and a full assortment of PFDs, dry suits, motors, paddles, and accessories from many major brands. All right, let's drop the knocker rig down and see if we can't get into some sheepshead. Typically don't fish knocker rigs. I'm more of a jig guy, but it's one of those things, like if you do the same thing over and over again, sometimes it does get slightly old. I mean, I will say this, sheepshead fishing never gets old to me, but today I wanted to kind of branch out and try something a little bit different than what I normally do. See if anybody's home today. Conditions are not what I would consider ideal, but could be worse. Could always be way worse. Nothing on that pylon. Let's try back one. That felt like a hit. Oh, yep, they're there. Missed the first attempt on the knocker rig. Let's see. Ooh, soft shell sand flea. That should go over pretty well. See if we can't get him this time. Oh, missed him again. Alright, I missed 2 sheepshead right away on the knocker rig. Third time is the charm, is the old saying, right? And there it is. There it is. And I know you might be looking at this rod saying, why in the world is he using a 6-foot rod, medium rod for sheepshead? I'll tell you this, crazy story while I'm fighting this fish. The largest sheepshead I've ever caught in my life was on this rod. And the wild thing was, that fish, I thought for sure was gonna break my rod. But, and we're talking like 15-pound plus fish. Not a state record, but definitely big fish. All right, first sheepshead on the knocker rig. Try and keep myself from bumping. And it's a tiny sheep, baby sheep. A little cute one. Now I know down south, knocker rigs, at least growing up, knocker rigs were like the style. That and Carolina rigs. Every time I'd go down to the Outer Banks as a kid and watch the guys sheepshead fish off the old Oregon Inlet Bridge, it seemed like it was a knocker rig or Carolina rig type of fishery. I do know, talking to some friends that live in North Carolina, that the jig fishing has kind of really taken over for the most part. Not saying people don't fish this way, but it seems more common now, the jig fishing. But I will say one of the positives that most people don't realize with fishing knocker rigs compared to a jig is the cost difference. Pack of hooks and some egg sinkers, way cheaper than buying individual jigs, or 2 packs of jigs, whatever they come in. And it works just as well. The one thing I've noticed, at least in previous years, I don't really fish sheepshead this way often, but one thing I did notice, like striper fishing this way, was I didn't like how the weight would slide sometimes, because you could feel it sliding and bumping. And I have gotten more snags with knocker rigs than I have fishing just straight jigs, but those are the 2 cons. But from a cost-effective standpoint, I mean, you can't really beat the price difference of a jig and fishing has become so expensive, man. Like, it's no longer, you know, anybody can do this type thing. Like, you go fishing, you're gonna spend some money. And I know you could say, oh, well, if you catch your own bait and all that stuff, yeah, but the cost of tackle, rods, reels, line, like, it is kind of nuts, man. Growing up, how it felt like it was an inexpensive activity or sport. Now, oh, seems like you got to have some money to really be able to catch the fish you want to catch. There we go. There we go. What stinks is, like, I get a lot of people reaching out about Sheepshead and where I would target them from land. And land fishing is so much different, and like really requires a lot more knowledge and a lot more luck, in my opinion. I mean, you think about having a boat or a kayak, you can go wherever you want fishing wise. You know, if the fish aren't where you go the first time, you know, you can easily move. Whereas on land, if the fish aren't where you hope they are, you know, you're very limited in what you could really do. And, you know, my hat's off to the land guys, because that's how I grew up fishing. You know, we'd go out on my uncle's boat here and there, and until I was like a teenager, I really didn't do much boat fishing until I, you know, bought my first boat. But I do think the land fishing does make you a better overall angler, because you don't have everything going for you. You just got to make it happen. Beautiful fish. Now, right now, I don't think I've mentioned this, I usually use Gamakatsu size 1 bait hooks, or live bait hooks. They're, in my opinion, the best for this type of fishing. For whatever reason, this morning when I'm loading up my kayak, I could not find them, so I had to go with my next best thing, which was the Temu 500 pack of hooks of size 1. I have a 1/4 ounce egg sinker. Right now, that's getting the job done. If there was little to no current, I'd probably just take the sinker off and just kind of free line it. But the other nice thing about fishing a knocker rig is you can easily snip the line. Like 1/4 ounce wasn't holding bottom, or holding the structure that you want to fish. You can easily cut the end of the leader where the hook is, you know, switch in a weight and just tie that hook back on, which takes no time. I guess you could say it's the same process for putting a new jig on, but water is super dirty today, man, which we've had nothing but wind the last 2 weeks, it seems like. Which I'm not, I will say this, I'm not as crazy about the wind like some people are. Like, in my opinion, today's a great day to be out on the water, because, you know, 15 to 20 mile per hour winds with gusts into the close to the 30s keeps a lot of people off the water. I don't mind sharing bridge or structures or, you know, spots with people like on the water. What I hate on, you know, a really pristine day is the boat traffic and like the people that are inconsiderate. You know, like I'm not to stand on a soapbox and preach, but the guys that drive full speed through bridges, man, I see it every summer, man. Every summer it seems like I come very close to death with some of these people. In fact, last summer I think I caught her on camera, like jet ski within 5 feet of me flying through a bridge. So I feel like sometimes you got to pick and choose the areas you fish. You know what I mean? Like, I try to honestly put myself as close to a structure as I can, so that if somebody's hitting me, they're hitting the bridge. Oh no, man, That was rough. Let me rehook this on. Actually, get a fresh one. Ah, man. Try that one again. Oh, man. Taking me to the cleaners. Unreal. Oh, man. That's where you got the old timer watching you saying that's why they call it fishing and not catching. See if I can't get him the third time, if he's still there. Oh, man. They're just absolutely crushing me right now. That time I got him. I mean, geez. There must be, I think, multiple fish on that one, because let's get him. Oh, I saw the net. Ah, man. We'll say the 6-foot rod is definitely much harder, but it's a little more versatile in tighter spaces, which is nice. That is the one positive. But I will say, when you're trying to finagle a fish across the bow, it's a little bit harder in that sense. That's a tiny sheep. I will say this has been real fun. I think I'm gonna next trip try Carolina rigs, or like the Carolina style. When I was down in Florida back in January for that 24-hour fishing trip, I watched them exclusively fishing Carolina rigs off the pier with oysters, and I think I might give that a shot. I know it's a little bit more of a headache fishing oysters compared to like crabs or sand fleas or something that's kind of more readily available, but I just want to try something different. Oh yeah, that's a good one. What's cool watching those dudes on the pier, it's funny, like you think you know a lot about Sheepshead, and then you travel somewhere else in the world that has them and you learn something new. I mean, these dudes had them dialed in, and they had a bucket full of oysters, like 5-gallon bucket worth of oysters, and they were literally hammering them. And I think the hammering, chumming them, kind of got them like fired up. Dude, I'm telling you, like I'm watching these guys like boat flip on a pier like monster sheepshead. Anybody that says that Florida or down south doesn't have the same fishery or similar fish is lying to you, because I've always heard the the saying that like the Northeast, or like Virginia, that area, Mid-Atlantic I guess you'd call that, has like the best or the biggest sheepshead. And when I was in Florida, I was seeing double-digit fish, so I don't think every, you know, sheepshead down there's monsters, but they definitely have a time of year where they get their fair share of big fish. What was real cool too, the guys that were fishing for those sheepshead on that pier were real friendly. I actually was fishing right next to them with my inline camera, trying to catch like underwater footage. In hindsight, I probably should have fished for the sheepshead rather than trying to catch footage, but it's one of those things, like sometimes it's nice to kind of do something different. Not to say it wouldn't be nice to catch sheepshead, but it was kind of cool to test out the underwater camera and kind of see how it works and what I could do to perfect like better shots from underwater. But on my first drop next to them, literally a sheepshead followed my rig down. I definitely want to try using the underwater camera up this way when the water's not like this. Right now, if I were to drop it down, it'd be kind of pointless, because I mean, you can't even see a foot down these pilings right now with how churned up the water is. But we do get days, you know, in the summer where if you get the right wind and low wind for a few days, that the water really does clean up, and that'll be a day that I'll try and target getting some underwater footage. Took my last two baits. I was falling asleep at the wheel. Oh, there was a hit. There we go. Oh, pit. Man, unreal. Had him and dropped him. There we go. There we go. Let's get him out. Especially with the smaller rod. My drag on here has seen better days. I think I need to take this reel apart because it's definitely skipping. Hear how like it ain't smooth. Probably need a new drag washer, honestly. I haven't probably changed them on this reel since I bought it, which is never a good thing, because especially for how much use I get out of them. That'll be another rainy day project. There are some nice eating size fish that we've been seeing the last few days. Like if I were to keep one, that would be the size, maybe a little bit smaller. Now, don't get me wrong, sheepshead are probably one of my favorite eating fish, but I hate to say this, I would consider myself a little bit of a fish snob. If I'm not going to eat something that day or within a day, I won't keep it, because to me, I have access to fresh fish pretty much whenever I want to go fishing. And I already got some flounder actually in the fridge that I need to finish off before I can start keeping more stuff. But that's why I've been throwing these guys back. On top of that too, from a conservation standpoint, like I really want to try and preserve something like this, and they don't have any regulations where I live, and I would say that the vast majority of fishermen for them are pretty good about taking what they need and letting go what they don't. But there's always those people that just want to abuse something, and unfortunately, like that's just how it goes in fishing. I feel like that's everywhere. You got a population of people that do the right thing, and then a population that don't do the right thing. There we go. There we go. Oh, I'm gonna call this the last fish of the day. I've officially ran out of time. The little man just woke up from his nap. I think I'm gonna actually get him out on my boat. Maybe I'll get him sheepshead fishing. Swing this little guy in. All right, so I would say knocker rig, definitely effective way to catch these fish. Not the only way you could catch them, but definitely effective manner.